microphone here.
What was that wee woman's name, Angela?
Yeah. Read that.
Super Sound Steph Mac?
No.
That's the way.
Angela Cole.
Give my sympathy and respect to the Fleetons, please. This has me reeling. I can't imagine what they've gone through. My first thought is throw the reference to homosexual, because it has no place in this whatsoever. There's a loss of a life.
And we're back. It's me, Murray Mac. Today has been one of these days that certainly has been an eye-opener, and the Justice for Robert campaign is going to live on. It's not going to go anywhere, I can assure you of that. Charlie and Susan Fleeton sadly lost their son on the 1st September 2011 under mitigating circumstances that any parent would not like to have heard how their son had sadly passed away. Due to the nature of the way that Charles and Susan's son Robert had passed away, has been a topic of discussion in an area that any parent, veteran, grandmother, grandfather, uncle, auntie, sister, whatever the case, is there. And to look for the justice in such a way, to find the answers, just to have the basic answers, the basic questions to be answered in such a way that at least they're going to get some serenity and love and harmony bestowed back in their heart that they've so sadly lost. And in saying such a thing, today has been one of the, well, I'm going to say it, one of the hardest things that I think that could be bestowed upon a parent, to come and speak live on radio and share the story, the injustice, the inconsistencies, and still to this day, 10 years later, still looking for answers. Which brings me back to the studio here live on Super Sound Radio. Charlie, lovely cup of tea there. Your wife makes an excellent cup of tea, eh?
Doesn't it half?
I'll tell you, you're spoilt rotten.
Tea,
She even brought biscuits, tea. No, we had such a lovely time. People, in today's world, we can live in such a place that can either be for you, against you, make life a bit happier, or in such times difficult. In saying that, Robert Fleeton passed away under circumstances that, to say the least, is anything short of, well, extraordinary in the fact that the story that we've shared here today. And to get a phone call out the blue for it to say your son has sadly passed away and we need to talk to you, and then get told that it's going to be 2 hours, and 32 hours later you finally get the people who are speaking to you. Then to go through the process of cremating the body or having a funeral, then 2 years down the line for to get told that the circumstances of which entitled into the details of the death it's quite extraordinary that the family are here today and expressing their points of view. Under no certain circumstances, let me tell you, this is not a political broadcast of any kind. It is not a finger of blame of any kind. It is a finger of fact that a family are just seeking rightful justiceness and questions that should be answered. And saying that, Charlie, it's been one hell of a day.
Isn't it half, aye?
And the circumstances in which your son sadly passed, you're still trying to get answers. And is there any way that you would like, is there anything you would like to say to the government or anybody that has an ear that cares to listen to what you would like to see happening as a course of events due to today's broadcast?
I'd like to say to any ministers that's out there listening for Westminster to meet us, to meet the family, because the system that they've put in place for deaths within the military isn't working. Because every time we go to a SAFA meeting, which is bereaved families within the military, every time we go there, there's always a new family, which is a shame to see. And some of them are in the same predicament that we were 10 years ago. They don't know who to turn to, they don't know who to talk to, they don't know what they're entitled to. A lawyer, a QC, who can help them, who can't help them. So we want ministers to put this right, to put something in place that these families don't need to chap their wrong doors or talk to the wrong people. The people that are in place to help them. And that's the only way that the system's going to work.
Well, I'll tell you what. I hope you get your point. I hope it comes to a point where there's even if there's a member of parliament out there that's listening today. What are you waiting for? Get in touch. They can phone you, Charlie. They can get you on Facebook.
They can get me on Facebook.
They can even get in touch with Super Sound Radio, and I'll gladly pass your details across so they can get you.
I'd be grateful. Thank you.
And at this moment in time, how many times have you actually tried to take this case to Westminster?
I think we've been to Westminster about 5 times.
And what about the Scottish Government?
The Scottish Government, they seem to have washed their hands of this.
Did you speak to any Scottish Prime Ministers?
Yes, we spoke to Nicola Sturgeon.
And how did you find our glorious Prime Minister to be in this case?
She listened to our concerns, and she seemed to be, I don't like to say on side because there's no sides to this. She seemed to listen, and then we got an email from her stating that it wouldn't be beneficial for her to look into this case, which we couldn't believe.
Why no? Why is it not beneficial to her?
I don't know. You would probably need to ask the Minister.
Let's ask her. Hey, Nicola, is there anything you would like to shed a bit of light on this? You know, there's a bereaved family here in Scotland, and I dare say you probably voted for her.
Aye, and my son even voted for her.
You know, so
yeah.
Prime Minister, if there's any chance you can even pick up the phone and give Charlie and Susan a wee phone call, and you know, because they would like this to be addressed, and they feel that they've been let down, sadly, by the administration. Because at the end of the day, we are just Joe Public, aren't we? Is that how you feel? Do you feel like you're just another digit, another voter that's been there and you've been sadly let down?
Well, sometimes when I go down to Westminster, I feel as if I'm just a nuisance. People will tell me what I want to hear. They'll promise me the world and they'll give me an atlas. Do
you still feel the stigma? Scottish and English and that kind of... Do you feel that within your heart? That there's still that, let's say, biased type of thing? You know what I'm saying?
Me personally, I do believe that, yes.
We're not here to cause any biased or racist comments or anything like that. We're just here seeking truth and justice and liberty. At least, you know, and a bit of dignity. Give the family a bit of dignity. You know, get a grieving mother, a grieving father. You know, even if you want to tell a wee bit of porky pies to make them feel better, at least do it. It's better than saying nothing, because what I've been hearing from is I would say it's nothing short of extraordinary that you have been put through this, through the mango. It seems like you've been through the brickworks and back again, and you're in the forest and you're still lost.
We're still stuck in the abyss. I thought they would have done a better investigation and looked into it, because Robert was serving in the military. I thought they would have done their best to get the answers of what really happened to him.
And here we are 10 years still seeking, yeah. And you were talking about your son's belongings that you've still not received.
We've still not received all Robert's belongings.
Okay, so let me get this right. Case closed. No longer interested. Can't he help you? You've not received all his effects. What did he tell you why you've not received any of his effects?
Just in case.
Just in case. Just in case what?
That's what I asked. Just in case what? Because the Thames Valley Police kept telling us how great an investigation they'd done, but they kept some of Robert's stuff. And when I asked why they were keeping it, and that's what they said, just in case. But just in case what? They never answered the what part of it.
I would like them to answer the just in case as well, because if somebody says that to me as a parent, oh, just in case exactly, just in case what? And yet you've tried and tried and tried, and the only person that's really gave you any support for a ministerial thing is Lisa?
Dr. Lisa Cameron.
Dr. Lisa Cameron. And to this day she's still trying to fight the cause.
Last week she sent 3 letters, one to Priti Patel, who's the policing minister, Dominic Raab, who's the justice minister, and the chief coroner.
Well, it'll be very intriguing to see what Priti Patel has got something to say, because as we all know, Priti Patel likes to talk about things, asylum seekers and all that stuff. Well, Miss Patel, I'm going to ask you, if you do have a heart, follow it. And if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But here is a family, a mother and a father, trying to seek justice and truth and moral and understanding. And yet, we are far from being in the realms of a political family, because we're just average Joes. We're no politics. We weren't born with a silver spoon in our gob. We were brought up to believe in truth and justice. And I think I'm going to say it. I don't think there's been any truth or justice given to you in any case for what I'm hearing.
You've just hit the nail in the
beggars
head.
Belief. It beggars belief.
You hit the nail on the head. You says we were brought up to believe in truth and justice. We were brought up to believe that the police would do a good job. We were brought up to believe that anyone in authority would do their best to find out the truth. That's what I was brought up to believe. So when the police came to us, we had no reason not to believe what they were telling us. We had no reason to question them. We believed they were doing a good job.
Until 2 years later, things started to come out the woodwork.
Exactly.
And then the beggar belief came to light, and you thought, oh, what a load of, aye, right.
This is the first thing we
This
highlight.
needs looked into.
We highlight it to every family. We say, don't believe everything you've been told. I mean, I found out if you're a detective, you've got to learn your ABC. Accept nothing, believe no one, check everything. Well, I think the public need to learn ABC.
Can I chuck a D in there?
You can if you
Denial.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but denial. Empathy. And I could forever go on. I could make this last. I could make it go forever. However, the intention of the point that we're trying to get across, I could go right through the alphabet here. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, right up to Z. And the Z being Z cars. Z cars was a thing on the telly. It was there for entertainment purposes, but this is by far not an entertaining serious events that would be, I would think would be rightfully bestowed upon any parent. And I hope that the justice will succumb and it will rise and will prevail.
I hope so, because there's too many families like us. Yeah,
If there's any families out there today, Susan, and I know it's 10 years and the suffering will never go away. Is it, what would you say to any families right now have went through something similar in this day and age? Because let's just say that this may not have been the last incident that's happened in such a term of events.
Well,
being in,
believe you me, it isn't. I'm in touch with a family who there's only 2 years.
And actually you're actively talking to families who are actually going through something that they're finding hard to get.
We met her after inquest. We met a family before inquest, and she thanked us because without speaking to us, she wouldn't have got the legal representation at the inquest that she really needed, and she realised that she really needed, because the military put you under a false security and they put you under this false blanket, but what they're really doing is withholding information from you, and by the time you get to inquest it's too late. And
they come out with the crap that, oh, we can't tell you because we're investigating. Well, they're not investigating you, so they can tell you.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's the investigation's finished, most of the people are out, so it's not going to affect their identity, they're not serving with you now, so you can give us their information. Well, not their information, but their statement.
Why is light given to him who suffers, and life to the bitter of soul? Ladies and gentlemen, beggars belief that here today, in this day and age, that we have a family who are still standing up to seek truth and justice. I wonder if your son had been up there with the elite like the rest of them, you know, Jeffrey Epstein. I could go on and go on, you know where I'm going with this, yes, but because he was just Robert Fleeting, there's no cause for alarm.
This is the bugbear, you see. What Hillsborough's highlighted, Deep Cut highlighted it. If I was to go out tomorrow and get arrested, the government would fund me to defend myself against the police force and against the courts. But if I have got a bugbear with the police, the government will not fund me to take the police to court make them accountable.
In God we trust, everybody else pays cash.
Yes.
That's always the case. It's never going to change. Funding, Charlie. You've got 20,000 plus followers, and that number is growing and growing. I would like to go into your site, mate, and put a donation in there to help you with your fight, because we know that everything's got a price, and sadly in this day and age it is monetary. And you've been travelling down